Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inspiring Careers. My name is Dan Johnson and I'm here with another fantastic guest. His name is Alan McIntosh, and he's achieved some fantastic things in his career. First and foremost, he is the author of this 5-star rated Amazon book titled The Successful Coaching Manager, which we're going to have a bit of a discussion about today. He was one of the first performance coaches in the pharma industry with a company who you know today as GSK, but back then would have been Glaxo Wellcome. And he's won multiple sales manager awards, and he's spoken globally as well as a key speaker at conferences. Good afternoon, Alan. How are you doing?
Afternoon, Dan. I'm good, and you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for being a guest on today's show. What would you say are your top 3 success secrets that have really helped you in your career?
I think the first one really that I've learned through the years is to listen intently to the people you're managing and coaching, listen to your customers, and really through that listening, thoroughly understand the environment that you're working in, understand the pressures that the team are under, understand the motivations that they have. Similarly with customers as well. If we know exactly what the customer's motivations and challenges are, we're in a place to, I suppose, support them to achieve their goals through the use of our medicines and services that we provide as well. I think the other thing is create change. Wait for change to happen to you. Be a change agent. Create the change that you need in order to do that supporting act of your customers and your team as well.
Are there any particular examples you could share with us today where where that change really had a significant impact on a team or on an individual in their sales careers?
I think the classic example, and there's 2 or 3 examples of around this, is that if you look at the pharmaceutical industry and the way it's operated in the past, it's been very much take on sales executives and get them to go out and see as many people as possible, obviously get them focused in on what we would call target customers, but also they're very marketing driven. They've been trained to deliver a whole load of key messages. And what I've done in the past is try to encourage the guys to fully understand the needs and motivations of their customers and then adapt the marketing messages to the ones that will resonate best with them. All marketing messages will resonate with customers. There's only, in some instances, might just be 1 or 2, and that's what you have to focus in on. And what you found is actually when you've worked and you've listened and understood the sales guys, you find out that they want to operate in that sort of fashion where they're really listening and understanding themselves, what the customer needs, and then applying the appropriate sales message to that situation. So it's starting to work in a key account management fashion. And actually when you start to work with sales execs in that fashion, you start to see the lights coming on.
Yeah.
Burden lifted off their shoulders in terms of, actually, I'm not here to shout marketing messages at my customers. I'm actually here to listen, to understand, and to have a 2-way collaborative conversation with them.
What would you give for someone, say, who might hear that advice and think, well, yeah, I kind of already know that? What is there any one step that someone with, say, 15 plus years could take it a little bit further?
Yeah, good question. I think, it's if they know that, and if they know that is the right approach with their customers, we need to understand what's stopping them doing that more effectively. So trying again to listen to them, to understand, and to try and find out what is holding them back from actually taking that approach, which they believe is the right approach for them and their customers. So once we know what the barriers are, whether it's previous management approaches, whether it's the way the company operates in terms of its culture, we can look at all these things and actually start to coach the individual round to doing what they believe is right for their business.
What has been the best piece of career advice that you received?
Always have a vision.
Okay.
Have a vision of what do you want to achieve, have that vision, and set goals that will enable you to realise that vision. Once you've set the vision and the goals, you can then work backwards and start to put in place all the everyday actions that you need in order to deliver that vision, but never lose sight of that vision. You may have to adjust your goals on the journey and certainly the everyday actions, but if you've got a firm vision in mind, then work towards it.
What would you say is the number one thing that you see holding other people back who do the job that you do?
Resistance to change.
Okay.
Number one. There's a lot of capable people out there, a lot of people who have been successful in pharmaceutical sales, both as a sales manager and as sales executives. And what I see is a lot of people clinging on to the old days where, they were told to go out, if you see X number of people a day, then the sales will come in. Yep. Access was fairly easy. They had big budgets. They did what marketing told them to do all the time. And in many respects, the job was a lot easier. It's different now. It's tougher. There are far more barriers to getting medicines utilised. And you've got to work at each of these hurdles now. It's, there are formularies in place there. There are different reimbursement mechanisms. And you've got to fully understand that there are more hurdles and ways to go across these hurdles. So don't just keep harping back to the old days of your 4 or 5 a day and that was it. You've got to embrace change. And I said earlier, you've got to create change as well. We're now in an environment where it really is the opportunity for people to be entrepreneurial. So grasp it. Really realise your potential. That's what I'd say. It's a great industry now to be entrepreneurial in, within the confines of compliance, of course. But don't resist the change. Create the change.
What would you say to anyone who's really struggling with access? And you don't have to give away specific strategies or anything, but just to get people going, if they've gone, as you said, either they're resisting change and they've gone back to kind of old ways of doing things, what would you say to someone who's really struggling with access in that way?
I would say to them, don't give up. I would say start to use your imagination, as you guys do. There are ways and means. Your customers that you have access to will help you, provided they respect you, provided you're supporting them towards solutions for them. They will help you. And also start to think about how potentially you can use any budget that you have creatively. I can think of examples of sales executives who are creating innovative meetings alongside their customers and thereby attracting a load of, let's call them, supposedly inaccessible customers to those meetings. So use your imagination, be resilient, talk to your customers that you can access because they've got ideas as well. And what you tend to find is there's a ripple effect. You only have to basically kick one innovative meeting off. And if you're shown to be professional and you're providing value to these people and they go away from that meeting, that, feeling that they've got something from it, the word spreads out. And you're on a roll. I've seen it happen. It's happening just now. And you have to keep creating change.
I'm guessing a lot of people just aren't willing to play a kind of patient game about it. She talked about the ripple effect. So if you're going to use that imagination, if you're going to be innovative, it's not to try it once and then say, well, that didn't work. So, let's just go back to the old ways. Play a bit of a long game, play a bit of a patience, at least a little bit of patience with it before just reverting back to kind of your comfort zone in a way. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, some projects that you can set up can be quite exciting. They take a lot of work. They also take a lot of what we would call stakeholder management. You want to get your senior managers involved in it. You want to work across different functions like market access, like marketing, medical, and get them involved in the real challenging projects that are going to open up the barriers to access and whatnot. So, the word team has never been so important in pharma than it is now. And it's not just the sales team, it's the team right across the different functions as well. So all I can say is from personal experience, getting involved in those projects are time consuming. There's lots of hurdles, but at the end of the day, they can be very exciting for both yourself and the customer, and ultimately for patients as well. That's what true key account management is about.
What is the key difference between someone who makes a good performance coach and someone who makes a great performance coach?
The great performance coaches listen more than they talk. They only give advice when the coachee is stuck, and they give that advice for them to move on. Doesn't matter how successful they've been in the past, the approach that they will take with people is to draw out what the individuals actually want to do themselves. So great coaches listen, they inspire, but they also direct at the right time.
What is the final piece of advice that you would give to anyone watching out there who is working as a performance coach?
I think the challenge for all training and development professionals and coaching professionals is that a lot of the time the good work that these guys do isn't recognised in the final result in terms of the sales coming in. And I think sometimes coaches and trainers have to turn around and say, do you know what, if we hadn't done that intervention with that individual, then the sales wouldn't have come through. And they need to shout about it, because a lot of the time, if you're a great coach, the person you're coaching is coming up with the answers themselves.
Yep.
And in many respects, they see that they've done it, and senior management sees that the sales executive's done it. What they don't often see is the intervention that the sales manager or the sales coach has had with that individual in order for them to be successful. So sometimes, you know, sales managers and sales coaches have to stand up and say, oi, by the way, if this hadn't happened, that end result wouldn't have happened. So it's about standing up for themselves.
Thank you so much for sharing such great advice today, Alan. It's been absolutely wonderful having you as a guest on another episode of Inspiring Careers. If anyone is interested in becoming a performance coach or would like to advance their skills, I said Alan has written a fantastic book here called The Successful Coaching Manager. Alan, if anyone has any questions about what they've heard today, are they more than welcome to connect with you on LinkedIn and just drop you a message and ask anything about what they've listened to? Would that be okay?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Open to anyone giving me a call or contacting me through LinkedIn, and I can help them out where needed.
Brilliant. So as I said, if you're thinking of becoming a performance coach, because I know a lot of salespeople who I've been speaking with have said, where do they move on to next in their career? And this is an area that definitely interests a lot of people. You're more than welcome to connect with Alan on LinkedIn and ask him a question. Or if you're currently in that role and you want to have a chat and, as I learn a bit more from Alan, do connect with him on LinkedIn and drop him a message. Likewise, you can always connect with me and I can pass on the message to Alan as well, or you can leave a comment below in this video. But as I said, for a copy of this book, I will leave a link to the Amazon place on Amazon where you can buy the book just in the description below. So I said you can get that directly from this video. But once again, Alan, thank you so much for being a great guest on this show. Anyone watching, please do like, subscribe, little red box just below this video alone that says subscribe to this channel. Do share the video, and again, we'll see you on another episode of Inspiring Careers. Thanks again, Alan.
Thank you, Dan. Best of luck.
Cheers. Bye.